All right, everybody, welcome back to the How to Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bob, on the building. What up, bro?
What's good, fellas? Glad we can finally get back on after having difficulties past couple of weeks. But want to remind you, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. And for those interested in promos or shout out, shoot us a DM on IG at Hold Husband Podcast or email us at holdhusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I got my man SD in the building. What's up with you, man?
Nothing, man. Excited to get the show on the road. Glad to be back and recording again.
Yes,
But first, let me give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Grab the Scissors. We're going to be having a discussion about why people are ending relationships and cutting off dating situations. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss that we've seen trending or on our timeline. So we got a couple interesting videos that we're going to discuss this week. This first video is a guy that found the hack in Miami on how to pull out the chicks. Let's take a look.
Bro, I'm at the gym right now. When I tell y'all, bro, no lie, I really found the cheat code again. Every girl inside the gym, every girl inside Miami Spring Break. I got the cheat code. Look on the screen, you feel me? Bro, if you don't, I call these the Miami Bucks, you feel me? These the Miami Bucks. The crazy part about this shit is that, bro, you can't tell this shit fake. None of this shit is real. When I tell y'all, bro, I realized, bro, there's so many gold diggers inside Miami, bro. I thought I stayed in California, bro. There's so many gold diggers down here. This shit is crazy. And the crazy part about it is, none of this shit is real. None of it, you feel me? Like, it's the fact that I got the height. I'm 6'1". I got the looks. I got the talk game. Most of these girls got boyfriends. They be talking so good, you know, cool. I'm enjoying my workout. I'm cool. All that, you feel me? Thank you. You know, you very handsome. I'm enjoying my workout. As soon as I show their ass the stat, as soon as they see the stat, hey, listen, they going. Oh, hold on. What you say your name was again? I mean, I guess we can go out. Like, what you like to eat? Hey, my baby, you gonna be mad as hell. You can't even get a biggie bag out of me. Hey, listen, man, I got the cheat code inside of me how to get any woman. This shit easy.
Oh, this is definitely fuckboy behavior. Let's start there. But it's brilliant, you know what I mean? Because fuckboys are not looking for long-term commitment. They're not looking for relationships. They don't care if you realize after he done hit already that he was playing you. And so the way that he talked about how he used it, you know, just as a visual aid, it's on the ladies for falling for it. But even the chick that was rejecting him at first flashed a knot and her whole attitude changed. So that's on the women, even though this is fuckboy behavior that men should grow past.
Man, look, I'm all for it.
Oh, shit. Hey,
I'm all for it. Let me tell you why. I'm all for it in this specific scenario. Because the women are gold digging. So they aren't trying to be with him because they like him, because they like his personality, because they like his characteristics and he's a family man. No, they want to be with him to try to milk him for everything he has financially. So what do? They pretend. They pretend to like him. They pretend to enjoy him. They pretend all the way around just so they can reap the benefits of his money. Listen, if you're going to pretend and it's okay, he can pretend.
Oh,
Tell me I'm lying, right?
no.
Everybody pretends.
That's a good point.
Well, I thought she was gonna say because they have on makeup and they enhance their beauty and stuff. But I guess that's a fair point. That's a fair point, though. You're right. They are after the break.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. I ain't even went to the physical part of it because a lot of women do that. So I'm not even gonna go there because it's the part that you're pretending to actually like him in order to extract resources from him. Only for that. Because you're gold digging. Otherwise, you stick to I got a man. Otherwise, you stick to no, we can't go out. So when you then change because he done came with something, now you gonna pretend in order to get something. So I have no problem with it, even though I think that I think what I think about it as a grown man now. But when you in the game is the game. You gonna either play or get played. And if you don't want to get played, you shouldn't play the game. It's that simple, in my opinion. Wow. Jay, what you think, man?
I mean, it's definitely an ingenious way, especially a place like Miami, right? Yeah. Like you said, it's one of those places where a lot of folks just try to fake it till they make it, especially when, you see the BBLs, and they're trying to get in, they're trying to ride in the Rolls, the Phantoms, Bentleys, and everything you see out there. And he found a cheat code. Like you said, he found a hack to get the women out there. So it's like, you, in a place like Miami, you kind of know, what a lot of those women are looking for. So, hey, he found a way to kind of even the playing field there.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me, I think last year there was a viral video where a guy's like a programmer, and he programmed some app to make it look like he had millions of followers on his live stream. And so he would go live, he would pull the app up in the club and make it look like he's going live to millions of followers. And the women would instantly react to that. So he was using clout as a way to attract the women. But to me, I just appreciate the ingenuity and the intelligence. They always say that criminals are the smartest people. They come up with the scammers and all that, the ways to be able to finesse people. But just hitting a woman with a wire like that, and he said, I'm 6'1", I said he already meets a lot of the other characteristics that women like. Man, that's from a guy that's in his, thriving in his whole phase. That's a very, very fast and efficient way to be able to knock off a chick. And then who cares if she finds out afterwards? You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't hit already. You know what I'm saying?
He got what he wanted.
Well, you got to also understand, you know what I mean? Like, everything that glitters ain't gold. And sometimes it's consequences for things that you do. So you got to take the good with the bad, because it ain't always going to be roses and bubbles. I can tell you that right now. Some of these chicks gonna get upset that you played them and you ain't had that money. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're right. Like, they gonna get dangerous.
Upset. Yeah, it can cost you your windows. It can cost you somebody breaking in your crib. Sometimes it can even cost you your life, because some of them make up lies in order to get somebody to try to come and do something to you. So it ain't all roses and bubbles out here. So you have to be careful with what you do and how you do it. That includes the women too. Now, it's one thing if you just macking, you talking the panties off a chick because you got the height, you look nice or whatever, and you got the mouthpiece and you can talk to a woman. That's completely different. You know what I mean? You just talking, and whatever the case, if y'all vibe through that because y'all talking and then y'all smash and you ain't feeling her like that. All right, I get that. I can see that part, which also causes problems when you're doing that a lot too sometimes. But if you going out tricking folks with fake money, which I don't know how they can't figure this out when you go get in that 97 Cobalt. They should be able to. They should be able to.
I was gonna say you gonna have to limit. Well, see, to me, this is like a more ideal situation for somebody going to visit Miami. Like, if you live there, then this is gonna have a short life. But if you know, I remember me and my homies, we wouldn't have prop money, but we would have preset lies, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell such and such you used to play football in college, or, based on his size, height. Oh, you was the kick returner, you the running back, you was the wide, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could do stuff like that to kind of boost our status a little bit if somebody felt the need to. But we live from a different era where your mouthpiece and your swag was a lot more valuable and effective to getting you the chicks or whatnot. So we didn't have to go to these extremes.
I tried in Miami. We met these shorties and they was like, yo, what you do? This is my first time in Miami. This was my first time in Miami, man. And people parked on the street. You know how they is on Ocean Drive. They got Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis. And shorty was like, man, what you do for a living? I told the chick I played basketball. I told her I played professional basketball. I don't know why I told her that. You know what I'm saying? She said, and her eyes lit up. She was like, really? For real? Where you staying at? What hotel you staying in? Bro, when I told her the hotel, because I wasn't thinking, It was an old hole in the wall. It was a hole in the wall hotel in an alley on Collins. She was like, she looked at me and was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yo.
She knew that's where the broke dudes stayed at when they came to Miami.
Shit.
Man, she walked off and didn't even say bye. She was like,
she stole it. Like she stole it.
Yeah.
Girl, man. I was like, oh,
I thought you was gonna take a Fountain Blue or something. That's
no, I didn't know nothing about the Fountain Blue. That was my first time in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
You was underprepared.
Like, yeah, I'm like, hey, the best tree in over on Collins. She was like, what? The pork and beans in over there on Collins. She was like, no, sir.
Yeah, fellas, you gotta have a story to check out, man. They can do a lot more, fact checking in 2025. So like he said in the video, at the gym, you know what I'm saying, where you ain't gotta have on jewelry and be dressed like that's another thing that made it perfect. He was using it as a gym. He's conversating and then use it to flash, just unzip the bag like you getting something out the bag and they see the wads of money. So that is another part that makes it like you're not trying to you're not standing in front of a Rolls Royce or something per se. You just making it known like I got the bag or I got money. But let's keep things rolling, man. This next video is another conversation we have all the time, but this was another perspective. This is a lady talking about her issues with the way women define a provider these days. Let's take a look.
Y'all gonna stop saying a man is not a man because he's not a provider. Okay, I don't even know why it offends me. I ain't no man, but it does. And I think it's because it offends my practicality and my sensibility. It don't make no sense. It is hard to exist in this country on your own, let alone adding another human being into the mix. So y'all say, well, he was paying the bills at his own apartment. Okay, now she moved in. He got to get a bigger apartment or even buy a house. Okay, he was paying his car note. Yeah. Now he got to pay hers too. You got to pay her car note too. Do you got to pay her car insurance, her medical debt that she came with, her credit card debt, her student loans? I mean, where does it end? And that's prior things. Going forward, now he got to put her on his medical benefits at work. He got to pay her co-pays and deductibles for that. He got to get a life insurance policy. Maybe he never had one before. He had no dependents, right? Now he got to get that. We ain't even added kids to the mix. He got to buy all her clothes, get her hair done, her nails done, her lashes done. He got to pay for everything. The house, the food, the utilities, the saving of the money. I mean, he got to pay everything. It ain't many men in this country that can pay for all that. And we not going to say they're not a man because they can't. It don't make no doggone sense. Now, what I do need him to have is the provider mindset. Do you want your woman to be able to relax at home and chill and not have to work? As long as you have that mindset and you're maybe even working towards that, even if you never make it, that's all I need, provider mindset. But you ain't got to pay all the doggone bills in the house to be a man. That's ridiculous. Cut it.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's a woman saying it. Men have been talking about how delusional and unrealistic a lot of the dating standards or expectations a lot of women have for years. This idea that just because you're a woman, even though you're average, even though you look just like everybody else in your friend group, the idea that you just deserve to be treated with the rich, lavish lifestyle because you giving a man your time, attention, and sex is ludicrous, especially to the men that have been getting those things from women or girls since they were teenagers without paying all their bills and having to pay for all their stuff. So I think a lot of the women use that kind of philosophy as a reason to just eliminate guys, but it ultimately backfires because they end up cutting themselves off from a lot of guys that could potentially provide them with a stable lifestyle long term.
Bro, listen to me. Let me make this real clear to the listening public out there. All right. If I'm paying for every single thing, your car note, your lashes, if I'm a man who can do that, I'm not taking an overweight 4 and doing it.
Oh, damn.
I'm not taking a single mom of 3 that's overweight with a bad attitude and she's a 4 to do it for, which is the average chicks out here. You are average. Most people are average. You are 5 at best.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with average.
There's nothing wrong with that. But let me explain something to you. A man that can do all of that is exceptional. He ain't average. He's not average. And when men are exceptional in finances, because this is what we're talking about, and he can do all of that, the chances of him taking a woman that's not exceptional is slim to none. That's why the majority of these women that say this have never had it done. They just looking at social media and looking at what's going on there, and then coming out
Cardi B.
these things, even though they have never had it, or they have an example of a regular chick, one example of a regular chick that might have got lucky and got her a dude that can do it. And so now they figure, hey, I got titties. I got titties too.
Right.
I can get the same thing. No, you cannot.
Don't work like
if
that.
we are being realistic. So I'm just saying, as a man who can do certain things that a lot of women require, the last thing I'm gonna do is go get a woman that's barely average, with horrible circumstances, a horrible personality, outlook on relationships,
Just more burdens.
and then go and do all of that for her. Absolutely not. She not worth it. And that's just the realness of it. But they don't want to hear that, because one thing women don't do is they don't self-identify as anything unfavorable. So because they don't self-identify as anything unfavorable, they don't see themselves in a negative light that way towards men. All of them think that any man out here they can get and they deserve. So that's why women in the dating world are so delusional and chronically single, a lot of them, because they believe in their mind and in their soul that this is what they deserve, even though they never had it and really don't qualify for it.
Yep. I mean, she said a whole thing. What she said was very practical, right? Why would a man just want to, you come into this man's life? I mean, mind you, granted, you were paying that stuff before you met him. You were paying your car note, student loan debt, and everything. And the crazy part, I'm gonna take it a step further. These same average women that you're talking about, or below average,
right? Even average.
Yep. So for a man to do all that, a lot of them is all they're really offering is sex in exchange. And that, for me, that's not an even exchange there, because
it's something he can already get.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, when you're dealing with a woman, sex is supposed to be a given. So for something that's already a given, why am I going to go out of my way to pay take on all your expenses and all your bills? Honestly, there's a lot of these women, they ain't looking for a provider, they looking for a bailout.
Yeah, I mean, and it's up to the guys to be able to tell when a woman is serious about you and what her actual goals are. And unfortunately, the shift in the, I guess, pop culture mindset, women have really been brainwashed to believe that they don't need men. I mean, we see all these different examples where they have such a negative perspective of men. They feel that they're so much better than men and above men, and men are useless, all these type of things, until they get a reality check and realize that everything that keeps them safe and provides the lifestyle that they live, the infrastructure's, facilitated by men. And so those are the kind of just simple conversations you have with a woman during a dating phase can let you know where she's at on that spectrum. You know what I'm saying? How does she talk about her dad and uncles and the men in her family? And so if you end up having a baby by a chick that views men that way, or getting in a relationship with them, then again, that's on you, bro. That's a failure on your part, and bad decision making.
Yeah, but I do want to give her kudos, and for her video, because she's holding women accountable, and she's calling them out for how they think and the different things that she and everybody else sees out here on social media. Right? This is what needs to happen for women. You know what I'm saying? Because women, when men say it, we call sassy or gay, right? Or brokey. They start.
I'm kind of shaming. Right?
Yeah. Like when we say it, but even when a woman comes out and says it, a lot of times she's shamed. She's called to pick me and everything. But the only way that women are going to reverse a lot of these here different things, and from men, and how men view dating, and why men are leaving a lot of these chicks alone and flying 3,000-4,000 miles away to get women, is to start calling out the nonsense when they see it. They don't do it enough. And so what men see is we come online, a lot of men come online, and they see this constant bombardment of nonsense from women. Hey, you got to pay my bills. Flirt with me through Cash App. Send me some money. I'm not going to Cheesecake Factory. What you mean cheesecake? I ain't going to no cheesecake. I'm too good for cheesecake. You got to make over $100,000. Yeah, the men see this and then be like, well, forget this. This is the attitude of the majority. And then when you look under the comments, oh yes, if they can't do it, they broke, or they sassy, if they got a problem with this is what real men do, right? So then men see this, and then men back up and men say, all right, well, I'm gonna go over here to DR and find me a wife. I'm gonna go over here to Brazil and I'm gonna find me a wife. I'm gonna go over here to these other cultures and find me a wife. And then it's a problem. So from the women's side. So now you have to have women that collectively join in and call out this nonsense unapologetically so that men can reverse their thought process.
The problem we have, we live in this buzzword generation, where everybody's just kind of flocking to these buzzwords, provider. It sounds good. So everybody's kind of like, yeah, I need a provider, man, that's making $100,000. And that's what all these women are flocking to, when everybody's not going to get $100,000. Yeah, because what is that, about 20%? You know that one better than me, so.
Right. Well, I mean, I like that she specifically stated that she's looking for the provider mindset. Now, I don't 100% agree with necessarily a guy has to have the end all goal of I need to get to a point to where my wife doesn't have to work or anything like that. I don't necessarily think that. But I think in order to be considered a provider, you have to be willing and able to use the bulk of your resources, monetary, your time, energy, effort, wisdom, skill set, all those things for the betterment of your family and children. Those are the things that if you have that, you're going to naturally make sacrifices on their behalf. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
that's ultimately kind of what being a husband or being the man of the house boils down to. You put everybody else kind of before you, and you got to be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be out one of the dudes that just need the recognition. Every Father's Day, it's always the deadbeats that make a big deal about not getting a gift, or she only got me this, or only got this. Like guys that do this year round, we don't really expect no gifts. So okay, you got me a shaving kit. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you get, whatever. Oh, you taking me to dinner? Great. I don't care where we go to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like guys, or you're not gonna see a bunch of guys. She only took me to Outback for Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like guys are not crying and griping over stuff like that. And because if you actually feel like I'm trying to make sure everybody else is good, then that's ultimately where your happiness comes from. Our bills are paid, the car notes paid, we straight. I'm finna sit here and chill and watch the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that for a lot of solid men, that's good enough.
Quick question. As you said that, so you don't care about like reciprocity when it comes to like gifts. Like, let's just say you buy your wife something nice, right? You're not expecting something not necessarily equal value, but nice gifts as well.
Well, no, not me personally.
Okay.
I'm not really a
I don't either.
person. Me and my wife don't exchange a whole bunch of gifts. We buy the stuff we buy what we like throughout the year for the most part. And so we're both like that similarly. We're not materialistic, but we got nice stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so where our focus is making sure we straight and dealing with whatever obstacles we got going on at the time. You know what I mean? Like, so fortunately for me, my wife is able and willing to prioritize those things. Like we've been dealing with the house fire and all this type of things this past year. So she ain't made no big deal about Christmas gifts and Valentine. You know what I'm saying? Like we got so much going on, taking care of a goddamn high school cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? Like just the managing that. You know what I'm saying? The practices, the this and that. You know, like we've talked about the logistics of the show. My schedule, like it's hectic. You know what I'm saying? Like between working all that, but I'm willing to do all that to make sure they good. You know what I'm saying? Like all the traveling and all the stuff. They the ones that use all my reward points and the free miles and flights and all that type of stuff. But I get pride from being able to provide them with that kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, so that to me, that's what the provider mindset is really about. The willingness to do what needs to be done. You tired, but you finna go. You know what I'm saying? Like yesterday, I spent 4 hours putting a bookshelf together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
4 hours.
I did it because I know my wife and they ain't got time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm willing to make those kind of sacrifices. That's what providing is to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and I think to her point, I don't think that she means, and this is just me listening to her, like, oh man, you got to get to a point of where you're doing everything. I think when she's saying a provider mindset, and then she say to where your wife is not burdened or stressed out, like, I just think that that's what she means, where you can take some things off of her. You might not be able to take everything, but you can take some things off of her. That's you working towards that, to take some things off of her, because women aren't built to carry the load like that. And then the other thing is, she's talking about the provider mindset. I remember talking about the mindset of a woman wanting to not mind going 50-50. Remember I was talking about this?
I remember. Like, I was just thinking that that resonated with me when I saw this video.
Yeah, so it reminds me of the same thing. Like, yes, you want to move towards someone that you got a provider mindset. And then for the woman, for me, it's a 50-50 mindset, to where you don't mind doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to do whatever you need to do for the household, and you're willing to do it without a problem. I know that type of woman will stick by my side if things ever get tight, if I'm ever in a jam or anything. I know she ain't gonna jet on me because she gotta pay 50-50. I know she'll be like, all right, that's fine. I mean, it's cool. We live in the same house. It's the same thing for a provider. A provider gonna be like, no, I don't want my baby doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? I done went up $20,000 more. Now she ain't gotta go 70-30. Now she can go 20, and she can save 10% more of her money, and I'll go 80. Like, constantly taking things off her. She ain't got to go full time or whatever the case. It's about compromise. And I saw this today on Sophisticated Arrogance page. Shout out to him. Compromise and sacrifice, right? Compromising is you two coming together to where it'll affect kind of both of you with certain things. And sacrifice is kind of one-sided, where it's going to really just affect you sacrificing something in order to do
giving up
somebody
something
else. Yeah. So I think that in relationships, you have to have both of those things in place in order to make a relationship work. If you are the only one doing the sacrificing, then it's going to be a problem. You're going to be resentful, and this other person is just going to be a taker. So compromise and sacrifice has to be essential in your relationship. I think that those things are important. Terry, you the married one in the group. So
yeah,
you know,
I mean, that's essentially what it boils down to, because it's nonstop. You're compromising on what we eating for dinner, where we going. We're compromising on where we go for vacation, where we stay. Like, all these choices and decisions that you have to make for a family or a group are essentially compromises. You know what I mean? Like, so, and if you have somebody that has a problem with their logic, their priorities, or just their selfishness or willingness to put the family first, that's where you're going to see the problems. You know what I mean? When they have to do something that they want, those people that put their wants above the needs of the family are the people that tend to have the most problems. And to me, the whole point in dating somebody, getting engaged and all that, is to see where their mindset and their behavior aligns on those things. Are they willing to put the needs of everybody above their individual wants? And everybody's not. They say it. They'll go with the flow, but they're not really about that life like that. And so I think that's the difference between, you see people that are, the dynamic of their relationship. You could see them when they talk, how selfish they are and how unfair they are. Where they're like, you'd be like, well, damn, how you don't see how hypocritical that is, or how unfair that is?
Yeah, that's why you'll see these here saying, hey, men will sacrifice their happiness for the family. Women will sacrifice their family for happiness. I got surveys on that too. I got to post that, because I asked the women, I said, hey, if you was only happy 50% of the time in a marriage, would
That's not good enough.
stay or would you divorce? I want to say over 60%, almost 70 said I'm out of here. 50%, right? And then I said, hey, what's more important, your happiness or the commitment that you made in marriage? I still want to say over 60% of them said my happiness is more important than the commitment and the vows that I made. Bro, listen to what I'm telling you. These the women out here. And then on top of that, I say, hey, ladies, do you think that most women want to actually be wives and do the work to actually be a wife? Or they just want to be able to say it? Like 90%.
They want to floss that ring.
Why in the world do you think men are slowing down with marriage?
Yeah.
If these are words y'all are saying.
That's what you say the whole thing here. A lot of these men are checking out of marriage, and I think the marriage rate is
justifiably so.
By 2050. I know it's supposed to be significantly low. I don't remember the number offhand.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
that's kind of the going to be related to tonight's topic. We're about to take a quick break. We up against the clock, but tonight's topic is grab the scissors, where we're having a discussion about ending relationships and cutting off dating situations. So we'll be discussing this in more depth. But we're about to take a quick break. We'll be coming back in a minute. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Grab the Scissors. We're talking about people ending relationships and cutting off dating situations, a lot of times prematurely. So I wanted to start the conversation off. I wanted to ask y'all, why do y'all think there is such a emphasis on being able to cut people off or break up with somebody? Why is that such a fascinating thing for this generation?
Man, I think that people want to be cool for social media.
Yep.
Like, it's a thing. Like, I don't really care. People want to, pretend like they don't really care about nothing. And it's easy for me to walk away because I'm a Libra, like this whole stupid nonsense. Like, I mean, I think that, that's just what it is. And so, I think that also, a lot of men have been able to do that because of how we're built, right? And I just think women morphed it, because men sexually, we smash a chick, we don't really like her like that, we can walk away without ever knowing her name or talking to her again and not thinking about it. And so I think that women kind of morphed it and transformed it over into something else where they want to try to be like men in that aspect. So I just think that it's something that they try to make cool, that people try to make cool, that, hey, I could walk away, I ain't got to deal with you. And I think that it's hurting social media. Plus the attention and everything that comes with social media, the likes, the comments, and all that. It also makes people believe that they have all these options. So therefore, they think that it's a lot easier to just walk away.
Yeah. I'll say something similar. They do it because it's the cool thing to do. In this day and age of social media, like women are so quick to screenshot or post on this stuff. Yeah, I was talking to a dude, then I just ghosted him, or I just cut him off. And I think we live in that era here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's so weird, being somebody that's been married for a long time, because the mentality and the stuff that we see, I guess you could say, for clout chasing, to look a certain type of way. To me, what SD was describing, I think a lot of women try to make men feel like they felt, and I think that's a flawed strategy, ladies. Like we've seen the ones where I met this dude, I took him home, I gave him sloppy toppy, and then I blocked him. and
That's crazy.
like
That's
as if he's gonna be like crying, trying to figure out a way to get in contact with you. No, dudes are not built like that. Like for guys, any situation that you met somebody, you saw somebody you found attractive, and you end up smashing or getting some head, that's always in your success folder. You know what I mean? Like, so even if you never talk to her again, like you said, whether that's because you never tried or she blocked you, for most guys, it doesn't matter either way. And so a lot of the mentalities of it are just flawed. And it's unfortunate because it's like that's the ultimately the thing that's keeping them or forcing them to be single.
Yeah, the mentality. Because the mentality of it all. When we get up in age, like, and I tell the women this all the time. Quality men that actually want serious relationships and marriage from a woman. Your mindset is going to play a major role in whether or not you get with him or not. Your behavior is going to play a major role in how you get, if he wants to be with you or not. So when you out here thinking you can move like a man, and you doing things and saying things and all of this here stuff, most of the guys that's got their lives in order are looking at you like, I would never take you serious or wife you up. You only good.
They're not gonna say that though.
They
not gonna tell you that.
But this is the thing. And I've done it plenty of times. I just did it. Like, if things ain't right, I will cut you off. I won't try to smash you. I won't try to go out with you. It's not that serious for me. Like when you get to a certain point and you understand certain things, it's not enough. It's too much hassle for me to try to sleep with you when I know that your mindset, excuse me, that your mindset is not something that's conducive for a healthy relationship with me. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. So I go ahead and I get rid of you, right? But dudes that just want to smash you, they will put up with anything in order to suck your titties. They don't care if you got a bad attitude. They don't care if you got a horrible mindset. It ain't in their
best interest to correct it.
They don't care. Yeah, so they're not going to tell you anything, and they definitely not going to cut you off. So you can play all the games. But that stuff don't work when you want a quality man. And then they get so used to playing these games that when they finally meet a quality dude, they ruin it by doing these here things that all the other dudes put up with. Yeah.
Well, for men, go ahead, T.
Well, no, I was gonna say you said that you make the decision to cut a woman off, so that led to one of the next questions. What's a reasonable amount of time to get, before you actually decide to cut somebody off? Is it 1 week? Is it a couple phone conversations?
No reasonable about a time, man. It depends on what happened.
Yeah.
I cut a chick off, man, in 2 days. We talked about a week or two. Mm-hmm. We talked about a week or two, and she said something to me one time, and then I threw it in the roller day. It was one of them yellow flags. It was a red flag. It was a red flag, but not a deal breaker. To me, those are two different things. It was a red flag to where, okay, I'm gonna pay this some more attention, right? I felt like it was kind of off, and I'm like, man, what's up with that?
What was it about?
I don't want to get into what it was about. But I'm just saying, like she said something to me where I was like, yo, you've been sending it. I never asked you for anything. You've been sending it, but tried to make it seem like it was me. And I'm like, come on, man, don't even try to play me like that. So then it was about a couple days later, she said something to me completely disrespectful. After that, you know what I'm saying? Which I thought that original thing was kind of disrespectful. So I had to check her on it. But then she said something else, completely disrespectful. She was like, my mouth, and I be going on. I said, hey, look, I got the text. I said, look, you know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna work for me. This not gonna work for me because this the second or third time you done said something or whatever that I felt like, was unwarranted. I'm gonna read it to you. Hold on, public. It say you've had 3 or 4 unwarranted and unprovoked outbursts in less than 2 weeks that were borderline disrespectful, false, or offensive because you were in your feelings. And for me, that's too much, too soon, and frankly unacceptable. So It's been nice, but I probably won't be pursuing anything serious with you from here on out. Bam.
Most
like
dudes are not
2
giving
weeks.
you that message that thorough, ladies.
Not
For
at
him
all.
to take the time and articulate exactly what you did that got you cut off, most men are not gonna give you that valuable insight. You know what I mean? Like, now, I would imagine that was not well received by her. Most women probably don't deal with rejection well, but that is valuable information for a woman that is genuinely trying to improve herself, to be able to see directly in writing why he lost interest in her. Because in order for a woman to even be texting a guy like SD, there had to be an initial interest from his side for it even to get there. So, ladies, don't fumble the bag when you got a quality guy. And you kind of touched on something I was going to ask a little later. It was about ghosting. Obviously, you took the time to explain to her what why you left.
Mm-hmm.
What made you do that versus just blocking her and deleting her number?
Because I was just I was kind of fed up. You know what I'm saying? And she mentioned this. She was like, "Oh, I won't have no more outbursts." I'm like, yeah, well, you're right. You won't act, because I'm sitting here looking at the text thread right now. She was like, I won't. She was like, "Hey, I won't have no more outbursts," and I was like, well, no, you will not with me. And then after I explained everything, she was like, "Man, why? I appreciate the honesty, but what I do that was so off-put," and that's when I
just
explained.
explained it.
Like, listen, this don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? And when I checked on the first one, she was like, "Hey, well, I had these outbursts sometimes." I'm like, "Hey, man, I get it, but you need to check your mouth, because I don't know what you used to. Yeah, you fine, like she a good 8. Mm-hmm. She a good 8, like she nice in the face, but I'm not putting up with that to suck your titties, sweetheart. I'm good on you." It's plenty of fine women that I know out here to be putting up with a chick with a bad attitude, or that's flippant at the mouth and don't know when she being disrespectful or can't check herself. Like, I ain't got time for that. So sometimes, yes, I will let a chick know. And sometimes I think it's appropriate to ghost one of these chicks, or dudes, for the ladies. Like, because some people are so combative. And let me tell you why. Because I think y'all know what you're gonna ask. Some people are so combative. Some people are so into themselves and so narcissistic that they don't, that even when you tell them, they gonna argue you down. They gonna try to insult you. They gonna try to make you feel less than, because you don't want to talk to them no more. Sometimes you have to go some of these here fools, just so you don't get into no nonsense with somebody. And and one of these here chicks, well, you know what? You talk to me like this, I'm gonna send my brothers over to your crib to do something to your house. Like, sometimes you can have that. Sometimes it's better that you walk away and not sit there and argue somebody down about why you don't want to talk to them no more. So it depends on how long I've been knowing you and the vibe that you get. Yeah. So, I think it's appropriate sometimes. Some people call it immature, but sometimes you gotta go somebody, man. That's just the way it go.
Yeah, well, I get that. I mean, I was excited. It just seems like there are so many people in this generation that feel like, we talk for a couple of days and then we don't talk no more. I gotta block you, delete you, and act like you never existed. And to me, that's a flaw based off human behavior, because you can meet somebody at the beginning in January, y'all talk for a couple of weeks and y'all don't hit it off for another reason. It could be she was, X problems, or they weren't able to fully focus on you. But you see them again at a party or something in October, and things are totally different. So cutting somebody off or blocking them or acting like you can't ever have no future interactions with them, to me, is silly for most situations. And I think that's where a lot of people go overboard. What you think, Jay?
Now, I agree with you on that. As far as like, what's a reasonable time for cutting somebody off, like I said, I think it just depends on the situation, how long you talk. Because you might have, let's just say you have deal breakers, and those deal breakers happen within that first week. Would you be just fine cutting that person off? Absolutely. But like you said, you can go talk to somebody for a couple of months, and it just might be, you might just figure out, okay, maybe we just don't have that connection, chemistry's not there, or just whatever reason. You might say, okay, it's been a couple of months, I don't see this going anywhere.
It depends on what they do.
Well, I've been out the game for a long time, but correct me if I'm wrong, but don't most situations kind of just naturally fade out? You text less, or you know what I'm saying, y'all?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that person's still in your phone to where they could call you in a month or two, down the line. To me, some people would be offended by that. Oh, you act like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where some people are like, man, I've been so tied up. I had a lot going on. I came across your number and I wanted to see what's up with you. To me, that's a perfectly reasonable explanation for somebody that didn't necessarily ghost you, but y'all just kind of lost contact for a couple months.
Yeah. Some chicks, every now and then, I do have to block a chick. I did have to block a chick. And then, man, she made 57 other numbers on a fake app. Sometimes.
Wow, that's a lot.
What you doing to these chicks, bro?
For real.
I didn't do nothing for her, man. I never smashed her or nothing. I never smashed her or anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, some people are just crazy. You got to understand this. Some people are just nuts out here. And I was glad I didn't hit because I was going to. And then, it was on the platter. It was served up on the silver platter. And
she did something before that got her cut off?
Absolutely, she did. You know me. What do I ask for before I mess with a chick? I tell y'all, I asked
came back
already.
Yeah. So because something just, you know what I'm saying? And then it just one of them things. I'm like, no, I don't really want to get involved in that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things, like, she's so pretty. And my guess is she ain't used to dudes telling her no, or even a man even asking for that, and then turning her down constantly. That she was like, oh no, the more you turn me down, the more I want to suck you off. And I'm like, no, not me, you ain't. Not me. Not me, not. And it wouldn't stop.
How does that not register that somebody would, if your results come back dirty, how do you not think that that's going to disqualify you?
Bro, because a lot of these nasty dudes out here still do it. A lot of these nasty dudes are still doing it.
I'm pretty sure they're not asking for the results like you did.
Probably not.
No, probably not. Don't
so
even care.
So yeah, you're probably right about that. But I just, like, for me, no way. Like, I have a clean record. I want to deal, like, and it wasn't something that was here. This was current, right? Down something you can't get out of you. I'm like, no way, sweetheart. I'm good. I'm straight. Like you cool, but as far as that goes, no. Like, I don't want to. I ain't gonna get into the physical thing with you. And we have been talking for a little bit. Might have been a month or so or whatever. And when that happened, I was like, no, but you cool. She couldn't take just being cool. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't take that. She like, no, I want the dick. And I'm like, well, you ain't getting it.
So
you're not. And I had to block her because she wouldn't stop.
So I just asked y'all, kind of what were some reasons y'all would cut chick off. What's the craziest thing that a chick that you thought everything was going good and she cut you off?
She cut me off. One chick cut me off because I had a phone pouch.
What?
A phone pouch.
Like a fanny pack thing?
A phone pouch, not a fanny pack. Hold on. A fanny pack. Wait a minute. Time out. A fanny pack is not a phone pouch. Okay? I'm talking about the phone pouch that only fits a phone that guys on construction sites wear on their belt. Like, it's your phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Shorty was like, you wear a phone pouch? I was like, yeah. I've been doing it because I used to ride motorcycles and drop my phone, and now, when I'm at work, I'm all the way up in the air. I don't want to drop my phone, so the phone pouch is more convenient. man, Shorty was like, yo, let me hit you back. I was like, all right. I never heard from Shorty. I never heard from her again. That's the only time we talked. She was like, you wear a phone pouch? I was like, yeah. She was like, yo, let me call you back. I was like, all right. Never heard from her again. So
that's wild. What about you, Jay?
Man, it was one. She wasn't interested because it kind of kept me up because she said I like cologne and her reasoning was she was a vegan and doesn't believe in using that stuff. So that was kind of the end of that. She liked everything else but that.
But didn't like that you wore cologne.
Yep, that was just the deal breaker, and I was like, okay.
Oh, I got another one. Terry, you've been out the game, so let me jump back in.
I can't think of no silly reasons.
What else you got here?
Well, listen. So I had met this chick, and she used to be on. Remember, like the Black Men magazines, the Hustlers, like they had girl models. Yeah, no, that was like a porn one. This one wasn't porn. It was like just
like King magazine.
Like King. She was on Smooth. She was on King, and she was on Black Men, like something like that, right? And she showed me all these here magazines. She was on, Brick House Body, dark chocolate skin, man. And I smashed Shorty, and I don't even know if I should say this. All right. So what happened was when we were done. She was shaking in my bed for like 30 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Sit there. She was like, I can't deal with you. I can't deal with you. I'm thinking she joking. She's like, nope, I'm gonna like you too much. And I'm like, what? What the heck you talking about? Why is she in my bed? She's like, no, I'm gonna like you too much. It's gonna be too much because you nice looking, you this and that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm thinking she BSing. Nope. Stop talking to me. And then I'm like, yo, what's up? She's like, no, I told you I'm going to fall in love and this ain't that. And I don't want to fall in love. And I'm like, you can't be serious. Over good dick, you go. And she was like, no, it's not. It's too much like that. Like, I can't do that. And I'm like, this is crazy. And it's other women. It's other women that I have heard
this.
That's
the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Yes. Where they don't want to fall in love, they just having fun, whatever the case, and they like, no, this is too much going on. I'm gonna wind up liking you too much. Like I have heard that before.
But if the sex was bad, the reaction would likely be the opposite.
Bro, yes, I don't know, but this here was a thing that happened. I called my boy, man, like, you're not gonna believe this. He was like, man, I've heard of it. He's heard of it. Like I've had women on my page tell me the same thing. Like, no, some of these here dudes out here, they call it devil. Never mind, man. I ain't getting it all. Go ahead.
So is this something like a soul tie or something? Like you feel like she'll get too attached and
When they ain't trying to, like, at that particular time, I wasn't trying to talk to her like that. You know what I'm saying? But my father used to tell me, if you're not gonna do a good job, don't do it at all. So, you know what I mean? I'm sucking toes and everything in this joint.
Hey, when you gotta perform, that's the only way. Usually, that's the only way to guarantee you get a second chance.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I guess if she know her limits and her boundaries, I guess I can rock with that. That makes sense. You know, I guess I just wish more people had justifiable reasons. Like a lot of the stuff that I see online just be silly reasons to not at least continue dating somebody, because if you get in a serious relationship, there are going to be significant differences between you and your spouse. We talked about that earlier, where you're going to have to compromise on. So if you can't get past something small or minor when you just talking to somebody, then to me, that's an indication that you're never going to be at a mental space to where you're going to be able to make major life compromises in an effort to make something work with somebody else. So I just think
can I bring some balance to what we just said?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because we talked about why a chick cut us off, right? There's some crazy reason. What's the crazy reasons we done cut a chick off? Because I've done it. I cut a chick off a fart in my bed. I stopped talking to her. And she was
That's
asleep.
fucked up. That's messed up, man.
I know, but I'm saying I was 22. So I was
Okay,
young.
okay. Oh, yeah. Younger day.
But-
Yeah, in the whole phase, I could have cut chicks off for real.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's what I'm
yeah. I hadn't
saying.
even
Yeah.
thought about it like you're right.
Yeah, so I fed her to the mattress. She was asleep. I'm watching TV. I hear. I was like, what was that? So I kind of kept watching TV and then I'm like, no. I woke Shorty up out her sleep. Like, man, I gotta go. I was at my crib, and I told her I had to leave. My boy had a flat tire. I'm like, man, I gotta go. I never talked to her again.
That's bad.
I was
Yeah,
young.
now that you done brought that up, I have cut off some chicks for some stuff.
For what?
But for just well, the main reason is my philosophy when I was in my whole phase is I only have so much time, so I gotta be cutting off somebody. So after about 90, we called it the 90-day rule. So after a couple of months, I would have met so many chicks that I really don't have time for the old chicks. So I would just, your apartment was too far. It was like it could be any reason that you're bumped out the rotation. But when you're constantly meeting new people, you have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the dilemma with guys, that if every girl you shoot your shot at is attractive, if you know what I'm saying, like, then that becomes a problem where everybody's attractive. So now I got to start finding something else. So you obviously who you like having sex with the most and all those type of things get you put in the starting lineup, but you gotta cut them off for some reason, and a lot of it is just lack of time. You know what I mean? Like, well, that situation that you just said where the girl cut you off because she was gonna like you too much. I did cut a chick off because I knew I would like her too much. This is before me and my wife got serious, but she was my main chick at the time. And I knew that after college, I was probably going to get with her, but I had met another chick and I never smashed Shorty or nothing. I think I told y'all this story before where I had met her at the club and we sat in the parking lot talking for like 2 or 3 hours. Like, so we vibed on a real high level. And I went to her apartment a couple of times, but after that, I was just like, man, I'm going to really fall for this chick. And so I just kind of cut it off like that. Well, ghosted her, I guess you would say, back in the day. But that was my philosophy behind it. Because I knew, like, I can't have 2 chicks I really like that I'm messing with. I can have a main chick and some accessories. But to me, that was going to be a conflict with what I had going on.
No, shit.
Accessories is crazy.
What you say after your menace?
Yeah, that's crazy. He said accessories like they was paper plates or something. That's crazy.
Oh man. All right, y'all. We are up against the clock. We about to get up out of here, man. Before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast on our Cash App and PayPal. JSD, man, I'm glad we was able to work through all the issues and finally get back to recording. I really enjoy having these conversations. So this has been another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.